want you to imagine this scenario, okay?
I'm imagining eyes are closed.
You are a movie producer, and at this time, disco is the biggest music in the world.
Yes.
Disco albums are flying off the shelf. Saturday Night Fever is a massive hit. Everything is disco, disco, disco. And you say, we need to get some of that sweet disco money. We need to make a disco movie.
Okay.
So you go out, you get a script, you get a director, you get one of the hottest acts of the day to sign on to star in this movie. This is all coming together. You can just like see dollar signs. You're ready to just print money. But the problem is it takes time to make a movie. You know, you got to shoot it. You got to edit it, maybe some reshoots. You got to promote it and stuff. And in the course of time that this is happening, disco suddenly stops being popular. In fact, what becomes popular is to shit on disco for how unpopular it is. Now you're this movie producer and you're sitting on this movie that's going to come out that you know in your heart is going to be a bomb. And in one final ironic twist, you have decided to title this movie Can't Stop the Music, when the music has thoroughly been stopped. So here's my question for you.
Okay.
If you are this movie producer,
Yes.
do you just start packing your office up right then, or do you wait for them to fire you? Like, how do you approach this?
Good question. I mean, it's clear that this is going to fail horribly. You know that this is over. They've burned disco records in baseball stadiums at this point.
Man.
Like, everything's going down. You're getting fired for sure. That's gonna happen.
Oh,
but,
God.
But you're waiting for a severance package. Like, you're not gonna kick yourself out of that door.
Somebody definitely got fired from this movie being made. Welcome to Bad Movies and Beer. I'm Cooper.
I'm Nolan.
And today we are discussing Can't Stop the Music. The movie musical event of the 80s. What a bold statement. Starring the Village People.
Yeah.
The Village People.
Oh my God.
It's a disco musical. I don't even know where to start with this. My goodness.
It's going to be really hard. I love musicals. This is something that may come as a surprise to our listeners, but I am a huge musical buff.
You know what? I'm going to stop you right there because I love disco. I love it.
So we're combining a musical lover and a disco lover, and you're going to expect pretty high praise, I would suggest.
I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but, you know, we'll get to the end and we'll see how we rate it. But
yeah,
like this was, you know, on paper at the time, this must have seemed like a good idea for the reasons I just kind of laid out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this is kind of a legendary bomb, and this is why we're talking about it today. And in honor of this fine movie, the beer we're drinking today.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the shake. Do the shake.
The milkshake.
Do the milkshake. The milkshake IPA.
Yes.
From Lost Craft in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's called Eclipse for some reason with a Z. I don't know. But this is the beer we're drinking. What do you know about Lost Craft?
Very little. I know they're out of Toronto. I've seen their beers in the LCBO here in Ontario quite frequently.
That is the like beer store for those of you who don't know what an LCBO is.
I'm not sure if it's available outside of the province, but I've definitely tried some of their beers before.
They make like a Kolsch that is outstanding. It's great. It's actually one of my favorite beers. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, they're out of Toronto, and it does say that they embrace diversity and are committed to being active in the communities where they operate.
A perfect choice for the movie we are watching today, as it deals with many of these topics. Let's get into it, and we'll fire off a quick sort of disclaimer, I guess.
Yeah.
So, this movie is, you know, potentially going to be tricky for us to talk about. If you don't know, we are both heterosexual, cisgender, white males, and this movie deals with a lot of LGBTQ topics.
Yeah, it was interesting while we're watching because there were some things that we found funny or wanted to comment about, but also want to be sensitive and appropriate to the sort of subject matter of the people who are involved in the movie. So we definitely want to make sure that our episode is funny today, but also want to make sure that we are not offensive at all to an LGBTQ community in which we're very supportive of.
Yeah, to be clear, like none of the stuff that we're laughing at in this movie, we're not laughing at anyone like because they are gay or because of any sort of overtones like that. Like that's not why we're not making fun of anyone to that end. And if for those of you who don't know, one of the stars of this movie is Caitlyn Jenner, obviously back in 1980 before she transitioned. So we're not going to, a lot of times we refer to characters by the actors' names, and we're not going to dead name her in this movie and refer to her by her previous name. We will just refer to her character, Ron, and we will use male gender pronouns for the character because the character is male. So we're going to use he. We're not describing Caitlyn Jenner. We're describing the character that she is playing.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about Ron in that way. We're going to try to be sensitive. We did find a ton of stereotypes or almost making fun of themselves, the Village People, in this movie, and we're going to try to be sort of sensitive to that as we talk about it, but we will definitely mention it and go over it. If we are in any way offensive, please make sure you do let us know by sending us a message and letting us know how we can improve. As two cisgender men, we're probably not the most appropriate people to talk about this, but we are two people who are willing to sort of learn and change the way we talk 100%. About those. So please do be in touch if it is problematic in the things that we say.
Yeah, on Twitter or Instagram at the BMB Podcast or the BMB Podcast at gmail.com. But we're going to talk about this movie today. We're going to enjoy, hopefully, this milkshake IPA. We'll see.
Hopefully.
And let's just get to it. So we open in a record store where people are just snatching up records. And this made me like nostalgic for the days of, well, for us, it was CD stores. Yeah. We're that age. But man, when new music came out, people were so excited to get like the new albums. Steve Guttenberg, who is playing the character of Jack, is roller skating through this record store. He works there, it turns out, and he wants to get the night off, but his boss says no dice. He needs to stay and do inventory. So Guttenberg quits because
I am a composer, not a schlepper salesman. My time is now.
This is great. Gutenberg almost immediately throws off this really electric personality.
He's got charisma that we see later on in movies like Police Academy, 3 Men and a Baby. I don't understand why his career kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, what happened to this guy? If anyone knows, if Gutenberg's listening, please let us know how we can resurrect your career, because it's pretty amazing.
Love the
energy you throw out
Love the Goot. This is actually, this whole My Time Is Now, this is going to be a recurring theme throughout this of just like people kind of seizing the moment. And there's a lot of talk about, you know, what the 80s was going to be. A lot of it is wildly incorrect in their predictions, but a lot of people are very optimistic about the 80s. Like you said, your producer man would have been putting this movie together.
Yeah, this is pretty funny. I guess when they started creating this movie, were very, very optimistic about what this was going to look like and how the 80s was going to be. And I think that time and the disco's time ended rather quickly compared to what they had estimated.
Very swift.
Yeah.
But that's all in a horrible distant future.
Yes.
For now, we get just the most fabulous credits I've ever seen in my life. This is the first Village People musical number we get. It's The Sound of the City is the song. Steve Guttenberg is just roller skating through New York City, waving to people and skating down the center of the road and like not getting murdered somehow, even though I feel like the people of New York would have just fucking get off the road, asshole. They would have just like murdered him.
It's pretty amazing. I think in these credits, we have more time in New York City than all of in Jason Takes.
100%. For sure, man.
It's amazing.
Yep. We also get like sparkling names as they reveal the names of the cast. And I can honestly say, watching Steve Guttenberg roller skating his character Jack, in that no one has ever loved life as much as his character has in these credits.
Yeah, it's amazing.
My God.
He's so happy. It's beautiful.
It's really sets the tone for what's going to happen later.
Yeah.
We also see Samantha. She is a former model. And when Steve Guttenberg kind of meets up with her, he immediately weight shames her despite her being extremely skinny.
Yeah, this is weird. She's eating an ice cream and we get into some of our like strange comments that are happening in this movie already. It's full of strange stereotypes and other things that we'll talk about throughout, but weight shaming definitely became a very early part of this movie, and you're just shocked at this kind of comment.
Well, yeah, now we gather that she has recently retired from modeling, so maybe this is just kind of good nature, like, oh, I'm gonna start putting on weight now because you like retired, which she acknowledges. Like she's fully like, she's like talked about going to Baskin Robbins later, like she's just like, I'm done with modeling, I'm gonna fucking pig out, and good for her, right? Like whatever. But it was weird for that to kind of pop up. I'm sure it's kind of just friendly joshing, but you know, we'll keep an eye on it as it goes along. So it turns out that Jack is guest DJing tonight at a club. This is going to be his big break. He is hoping to play some of his songs that he has composed, and get discovered this way.
It's his time.
That's what he said. His time is now.
He's going to be composing.
Now, when they get home, apparently they live together. They get home and find that their neighbor, Felipe, has just climbed into the window to watch TV. And, you know, Sam says, why not? This is neighborly New York. Here's why not. For everything I've learned about New York in the late 70s, early 80s, if you just like leave your windows open, like they're going to come home. That apartment is going to be empty. They'll be fucking robbed. She's going to get murdered. You can't just leave your windows open in like 1970s New York. I don't care where you live.
Yeah, it's true. It's rather strange. We get introduced to this character, and it is the first of the village people to be introduced.
It is indeed.
And
the Native American?
Yeah, it's really problematic.
Because that's not how they refer to him.
Well, yeah, no,
they refer to him as the Indian.
Yes, he's the Indian. He's wearing full like traditional headdress and like another kind of traditional like body piece, and he dances and makes the stereotypical Indian noise.
I don't want to say it's like you pick your battles, but at the time that just wasn't looked down upon. It should have been. It definitely should have been. At the time, no one was like, that's offensive. People were just like, yeah, he's the Indian. So we find out that Sam is, a little worried about Jack losing his job, but she agrees to come watch him DJ. But if he fails, then he's going back to dental school, because we learned that Jack has kind of gone against his parents' wishes to become a musician and composer instead of going to become a dentist, which he should have done.
Oh, he should have been a dentist?
That's what his parents said.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying he should have become a dentist based on this movie.
This all works out. If you've never seen the movie before, spoiler alert, it all works out. We cut to a disco where he's going to be DJing tonight. We briefly meet Mr. Murray, the owner of the disco, who is just a complete fucking sleaze. Sam decides she wants to dance, so she gets Felipe to go find her a date, someone to dance with. And this is just what happens. He just grabs the guy, like, you dance with her, and he does. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of disco dancing in here. You see a lot of the time. It feels really weird for people who didn't grow up in that.
But I wonder this, and because we didn't grow up in this time, I look at this and I'm like, is this a movie facsimile? Are they like dialing it up to be like, this is just an incredible, like opulent, decadent atmosphere, or was that what it was actually like?
Good question. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure. It's strange. I think maybe clubs were more similar to that than our experience, but yeah, it's definitely weird.
We'll never know, man, unless they build a fucking time machine.
If you lived through it, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, please, share your stories. We'd love to hear your stories.
Moms, tell us how this went.
Well, okay, maybe not our moms, but some moms.
I'm fine with it. Both of our moms tell us.
No. So Jack's playing his music, DJing. Seems like he's killing it, so he's going to play one of his own tunes. The song is Samantha. This is like our second kind of musical number here. It's about Sam, obviously.
Yeah.
We start getting these weird, trippy, like outline effects. Electricity is like pouring off of these people while they are dancing. These bright colors, like
it's kind of like a cool music video.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I actually liked this part of the movie. I thought the outfits and dances and the weird fuzz were pretty entertaining and amazing. Like this was keeping me engaged at this point.
Bright colors, man. Flashing lights. It's really going on. So it seems like it went well. Samantha wants a demo tape, and she says she's going to hook him up with a record deal because Mama has connections.
I wrote that same quote down. I thought that was great. The ex-model's going to start pulling her strings. Apparently, she used to date a pretty high music producer or a president of a music company. So
it's true. She did. Now, as not just a former model, one of the biggest models of the 70s, we find out she's still in high demand. She gets a call about a modeling job from her friend Lulu. Lulu works for this lady named Sydney, who basically Sydney gets on the phone and tells Samantha, you owe me. I made you the biggest model of the 70s. Samantha's response to this is a recurring theme as well. The 70s are over. The 80s are going to be something new and different.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I think the 80s are dead, or the 70s are dead and gone. It's the 80s time, bitch.
Fuck yeah, this is
she was throwing it down.
The 80s are a composer. Their time is now.
Yes, I feel that very strongly.
I love
sure.
it.
Yeah.
So it turns out this advertising job that she's being offered is for the American Dairy Association, and that comes up later.
Yeah, it's a milk campaign, baby.
It is.
Nothing like a little lactose to move you forward.
So we get the next day, there's a bit of a problem with the demos that Jack, gives her. And the problem is that he is a terrible singer. He's not good. So she decides they need some voices. And this is where this all starts coming together. Now it's happening. Turns out, believe it or not, Felipe, the neighbor, he sings.
Yeah, he's a wonderful singer.
Now, okay, I have a question about Felipe. And this actually comes up in the movie, but like, we know why he's wearing this, Native American garb.
That was his role in the band, yes.
But does he just walk around wearing that all the time? Is he wearing that all the time?
Well, the movie suggests that the village people didn't change out of their costumes ever. based on what we saw. So,
Yeah.
all of them wore their costumes their entire life, and they
They were
would
born that way?
Well, they were born that way because we saw a commercial where they were children and they were wearing those same costumes. So it just must be something where they always
but that's referencing them as adults. I don't know if that's either way.
No, they always have had these costumes
I guess
on.
he just wears
they
them all the
change
time.
colors and wash them occasionally so they don't smell
That's
bad.
true.
But yeah.
He sings, so does this cowboy that we see in the disco, in the club. And also a construction worker who we see both during the original credit sort of montage and he shows up again later.
Oh, actually, yeah, that was a hilarious part of the credits when they show the construction
Pops
worker.
up in the manhole and all the steam comes out.
Yeah, and then all these guys wave themselves off. Yeah, it was fantastic. He was actually the first Village person we saw, and it was
That's
great.
true. We see him before
Yeah,
Felipe
it was
just
glorious.
briefly.
Yeah.
Although we always missed him. Like, is that the construction worker?
Yeah.
It was. So they all sing. And when they ask the construction worker, when Sam asks him, he is thrilled with this idea. He says,
Fame, fortune, platinum records. It's every boy's dream.
And then this crazy dream / song sequence
this
happens.
is our next musical number.
Holy
It's I
shit.
Love You to Death is the song. We get a whole bunch of women in red dresses. And one of them, drops a bunch of glitter in the construction worker's chest hair. And then they throw some more glitter on the ground. And then the
Yeah.
glitter is in the air. And there's just so much glitter. I just wrote down, there's so much glitter.
This movie is full of the herpes, for sure.
What?
Yeah, well, glitter has always been termed the herpes of the craft.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
That's not
because
true.
one
Is that
society
true?
is so hard to get off. Yeah, it's the herpes of the craft world.
I've never heard that before. That is true. No, yes. Glitter is incredibly, anyone who's ever dealt with it, it's horrible to get off. But that's
Yeah,
that can't be a real term.
there's going to be a lot more herpes as this
Who are
movie
the
goes on.
craft people referring to glitter? No, it can't be right. Doesn't sound good.
Check it out.
Oh, man.
Google herpes of the craft
This is-
world. To look at
I would not recommend Googling
Don't look
that
at
if
the
I were
image
you.
search, though. That's
Don't,
not
oh,
a
yeah. No,
positive.
sir. Good
Oh,
Lord.
so we're getting back to this crazy
Ooh.
dream sequence.
Well, it's just a big musical number, and sure enough, glitter everywhere. And then it ends. It turns out that he's just actually doing construction work or filming a commercial. I'm so unclear.
I think he was
can't-
filming some commercial. It's really crazy, this sequence, though, because he throws out so many panther claws. He throws them out, and there's
he's clawing hard.
And there's a very erotic baker that I was confused about in the episode.
Yeah, there's an erotic baker. This is actually where Caitlyn Jenner's character for stuff. So Ron is walking down the street. He's carrying a cake, and as he passes a lady, she says, "Nice box." I'm just gonna leave that one alone. That's odd.
I just love how Ron gets the nice box comment, and then this old lady is having trouble.
Yeah, so he gets mugged by an old lady. Ron is the comic relief, we find out, because an old lady on the street gets almost run over by someone on a moped. Ron is a fine, upstanding Midwestern gentleman, so he drops the cake, runs over to see if she's okay, and then she's got a gun. She fucking robs him. It's
Yeah.
a scam. Her and then she rides off on the moped.
Steals his watch and wallet and shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So he's just supposed to be comic relief. And so I guess is this Sydney lady who wants Sam for the Aggie meeting, because then she gets caught in a phone booth for fucking 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, I think it's longer than 3 minutes. She spends a lot of time in this phone booth. Her fingernail gets caught in the rotary dial.
The rotary phone.
So this ages the movie quite a lot, and then she can't open the door either, so it's pretty ridiculous for sure.
It is. So this all happens. This is just a way of introducing these two characters, or getting us, I guess, a little bit more about Sydney. Meanwhile, they're setting up for the recording. Samantha's going to have a big party in her backyard, in her and Jack's backyard. And it turns out her friend Lulu, she's there, and she is very into the Native American, and she makes some extremely problematic comments,
Yeah.
even for the time.
She makes some really objectionable comments, I think, about roots and indigenous people. It's really bad.
Yeah, Roots, of course, the television limited series about slavery. I don't know why
Yeah.
she brings that up, but it happens. She also, I liked this Lulu quote where she says that cooking and cleaning is like bad sex. Every time I do it, I say I'm never going to do it again, and then company comes.
Yeah, so Lulu becomes a real hornbag in this movie.
She's a bit of a... Wait, a what?
I'm
Do
just
you mean a horn dog?
No, I think for describing Lulu, it's horn bag. She
Is
just
that-
accepts everything. Fills her
Horn dog
bag.
is horn dog a male term?
I think so. I
I
don't
think
know.
women can be horn dogs.
I just I think of
Or
dog, and I think
is the
of
dog
penis,
part
right?
problematic?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
You know
I
what?
guess, or you're thinking in terms of female.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would call
right.
her a horn bag. And this is not to default her as a character or anything. This could be her motivation.
She's you know what? She's a progressive woman of the late
Yeah.
70s, early 80s who
Absolutely.
is she's taking care of her needs. Good for her. So Ron shows up to deliver this cake, and so does Sam's friend Alicia, who has brought with her a singing police officer. And at this point, this plot is just so organic, I can't even believe it.
Ray Simpson, the best voice in the entire movie.
Oh, fuck, he can sing, man.
Holy crap, gets pulled into this room. She found him like handing out tickets, singing along as he was doing it.
Yeah, he sings as he hands out tickets.
And I wrote down right here, this is the most contrived way to get a band together
It's
ever in the
unbelievable.
history of film.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And then the overacting is getting really strong at this point.
Yeah, they're gonna perform. Lulu takes Jack in the back and gives him some drugs to kind of relax him. But then when he comes out, he sees the cop. Well, he actually sees two of them because whatever drugs he took, he's seeing
I think
double.
she pulls
which is
out weed. I think she
ridiculous.
straight up pulls out weed.
Does
And
not make you see two people.
his high experience is very trippy.
Oh, he's nervous, and that's the comedy we get, right? Because he sees a cop. Ron asks why Felipe is dressed like an Indian, his words, and they breeze right past it. So this is what I'm saying. They never actually address it.
No, they don't.
So strange. Jack's mom shows up randomly. There's a whole at this point, this whole movie, you never have this conversation because we're like almost like an hour into this, and it's all been like kind of set up and jokes and like setups to jokes, and like the plot isn't really moving along here.
No, I was really struggling. It was going so slowly. We had met some of the characters, but most of the characters that met were introduced in like really contrived or problematic ways. So they're trying to build the village people right here, but you're just waiting for it to happen so we can get into something that's actually interesting and kind of a fun musical. I'm really missing good songs at this point.
Well, you're in luck because one is just coming up real soon. Before it happens, Sydney, she's free from the phone booth now. She arrives. She gets attacked by a cat. So I'm like, is she also comic relief? I can't keep track of
It's weird. She climbs a wall.
Yeah, fence. Yeah. And as soon as she sees Ron, she just wants to get him into a pair of jockey shorts right away. She wants him for an advertising campaign. And
Yeah.
to be fair, he's a nice looking fella.
Tall, fit gentleman.
Sure. So it's time to record, and this is where you get what I would consider the first good song of this. Magic Night
Yeah.
was stuck in my head for several days after first watching this. And this is where I said, man, that cop can sing. That dude has pipes. He can sing. Ron, though, is watching all of this performance and the kind of glamour, and he decides this is not for him. He's going to leave. We find out his character's from the Midwest. This bohemian scene kind of offends his Midwestern sensibilities. He really is having trouble kind of grappling with like whether or not to accept this scene of these people.
Yeah, it's really weird to see him struggling so hard. I guess they're trying to present that it's different in the village from like other places in the world, and that they're definitely a more accepting, more open place. And him as a like stuck-up tax lawyer isn't going to handle this very well, and he doesn't.
Oh yeah, he's a tax lawyer. We didn't mention that. But yeah, so he takes off, and she kind of chides him for being so, unaccepting. The next day, we find out the demo tape isn't really happening. A lot of the music execs want Sam to discuss it over dinner, and you know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want her to.
They want her to throw the knee pads on and really sell this record.
Yeah. And then she decides that she's going to do it. She gets her best and
Well, no, hang on.
dress, doesn't she?
Well, yeah, she does. That's true. She does that. Jack kind of convinces her to get dolled up and sell it, but to her ex-boyfriend, who she knows, who feels she can kind of manipulate to make this happen.
And why did they break up?
Oh, he's always on the fucking phone.
Yeah, this character is so annoying.
He's on the phone all. We see as soon as she goes to meet him, she shows up. It's a kind of a weird, like dreamy, slow motion entrance. He's on the phone, and as he sees her approach, he's like, trying to have this phone call while simultaneously just in his pants when she's walking up to him. He's clearly very into her.
Yeah.
And, she, as they're talking, she remembers why they broke up because he's constantly on the phone. He tells her it's different now. It's not that way anymore. He's not on the phone. But even while he's trying to convince her, he's like trying to sneak fucking phone calls in and
Answers
stuff.
like
Yeah.
4 separate phones. And this isn't like a cell phone. This is a guy reaching for 4 different rotary phones at the time. It's pretty ridiculous.
So she gives him the demo tape, and he says that all his musical acts, they write their own songs. They don't actually buy songs. So if she was trying to sell this, she shouldn't be selling songs. She should be selling a group.
Yeah.
And, she tells him, well, we've got one. We've got a group. And she's the manager. This is all happening very, very quickly.
Yep.
He's interested in her.
Yeah.
Not in the band.
He
He's
wants to
interested
get back.
in her.
And what
Yeah.
does she do to like push him away?
She tells him that she's made a vow of celibacy, that until the group becomes a success, she's not having any kind of sexual activity. So now he is really motivated. He wants this group to break like you wouldn't fucking believe.
Although she does not hold up to that vow, does she?
Well, spoilers, man.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's true. Meanwhile, Ron, it turns out, is there. He's there to meet with her ex because he's having some tax trouble, and Ron is a tax lawyer. When Ron sees her, he kind of chases her down to apologize for the other night, and he ends up offering to help. But as we see, Ron's a fucking goof, and he can't even get a cab. He's trying to hail a cab. It's not happening.
She pulls up her dress and shows a lot of hip, and then a cab stops for
But
them.
she fucking gets a cab, right?
Yeah,
she gets a
apparently
cab.
that's how it happens in New York.
Hey, man,
in
she's
the 80s.
using what she's got, taking advantage of fucking, the sleazebags driving cabs. I apologize, taxi drivers of the world. Are there still taxi drivers?
There are. It's a struggling.
I was going to say, not a good time to be a.
No.
Yeah. So she gets back home. She tells Jet the good news. And she also pours hot lasagna all over Ron's.
This was
more comedy.
This was a lot of comedy relief. She slips and puts a whole lasagna right against his crotch.
Right in the crotch. Yeah.
He immediately rips his pants down, and he seems okay.
The facial reactions are just incredible on Ron right now.
Yeah. He makes comments about
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So she makes up for it by bringing him some wine later. And he, again, he's Midwestern sensibilities. He thinks it's weird that she has a male roommate. And she tells him,
"This is the 80s, darling. You're going to see a lot of things you've never seen before."
So, man, they are fucking all in on this. This is the new decade where anything goes, man. Anything goes.
And this theme continues over the next little bit of their interactions together.
Sure. Well, we get a little more slapstick first where she's, her dress gets caught. And I don't know what does it get caught on?
It gets stuck, the zipper gets stuck, and then she can't get it off, and then he has to help her. And there's definitely some attempts at hilarity here.
Well, it gets torn off, and then she starts tickling his feet, or what was it? It was so strange.
It's a really weird introduction to their first intercourse together.
Yeah, exactly. Well, after once the sexual energy is so palpable that no one can deny it, he rises up out of the chair, and she tells him, "You sure get up quick." Hi-oh.
That was good, actually. That line was pretty funny.
Sure, man. And then they're about to go to the bedroom, and they fire off a Peter Pan quote. This is so, I don't know, man. I was uncomfortable with a lot of this scene.
Yeah, it's strange. She leads him to her bedroom, and her bedroom is a pretty sexy place. Lots of mirrors and glass on the walls and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you want to watch yourself having sex in this room, you're not going to have a hard time finding a way to do it. You're going to be like, "Oh, there I am." Yeah. So he ends up knocking over a lamp, and when he does this, inexplicably, all the lights turn out.
Yeah, that's how it works, right?
That's so strange. But then, oh my God, as the lights are out, there's some sort of mysterious sex act.
What are you doing?
These are the 80s, kid. You're going to do a lot of things you've never done before.
What did they do?
It is weird. He is below the belt, or that's what it appears when this is happening.
It's pitch black. I don't know.
So it seems like there's some suggestion that there's oral sex involved in this act, but it's really hard to tell.
My first thought was, it's got to be butt stuff, right? Doesn't it have to be butt stuff?
Yeah, that is. You think that he went straight there, and that's what's happening in the 80s? You think he ate her butt? Yeah,
I think he might have. I don't know, man. I'm like, what's a weird sex act in 1980?
I don't know. I think people should message us and let us know what they think would be something.
I do not think we should invite these kind of messages. What on earth? I don't know,
Watch it and see if you can interpret what you think happened.
It could be it. Maybe
scene.
he stuck a toe in there or something. I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Dude, it's something strange.
Okay.
Whatever it was, like the music, it didn't survive the 80s. So I don't know.
It was weird. Okay, we're going to move on from that scene.
All right.
Where do they go in the morning?
They are in Ron's office. They're going to be having some auditions because they need to fill out this band, I guess. And again, Alicia shows up. She brings another discovery of hers. This is a soldier. And we also finally see the biker. He rolls up in his motorcycle. And my God, just an all-time Hall of Fame mustache on this guy.
He must have one of the best mustaches / body hair percentages of any actor of all time.
He must have the highest testosterone levels in human history.
It is amazing. Both the chest and the stomach and the facial hair on this guy are incredible.
He's dripping testosterone.
Yeah, I couldn't grow anything close to that. In fact, I could take 7 years and it would be nothing near what he has grown.
He showed up on screen and I grew a mustache. It happened just automatically.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So this is all happening.
Yeah,
We
there's
get a
people
dude
throwing swords.
There's a dude
right? Yeah.
juggling swords. There's another guy, like a muscle man, who's singing about just his body over and over again.
Yeah.
Ron's parents show up for some reason, and his mom gets a lot of love. People are like fucking just complimenting his mom. She looks incredible. It is
really weird that Ron's mom and his boss show up at work together.
His boss is his dad. It's his parents.
Was it his father?
His mom and dad, yeah.
Okay, so I hadn't pieced together that it was dad because his dad is straight up being a huge dick to him.
Yeah, well, they're very much against this new musical scene. They like the old music. They're talking about Cole Porter and like Rodgers and Hammerstein, other respectable musical acts that their law firm has represented. But like, what his mom? Okay, we talked about this. His mom must be some celebrity that we just don't know, right? Like, she has to be. There's a recurring theme in this movie where they spend a lot of time. There's a lot of older women in this movie, and they all get like the star treatment, and I don't know who any of them are.
I think you're right. I think all of these people are definitely someone who people of the time would have known for being famous and sort of
divas. Are they Broadway starlets?
They have to be. There's got to be some kind of connection here, and so there's a lot of homage, I think, being paid. But it gets kind of lost if you don't know who they are, right? Doesn't hold up today when you're watching the movie.
True. So anyway, his mom's for it.
Dad, not much. I didn't realize it was dad. That's really
100%.
weird. Yeah, okay. All right.
As they're going through this, they're arguing. Sam comes up with the perfect name for the group, the Village People. It turns out the biker enters the room, and it turns out that he's not there to audition. He's a toll collector, by the way, for the bridge to New Jersey. And someone asked him if all toll collectors look like that. And his response is, just the hot ones.
This character is amazing. He comes in and he goes to audition and he hops up.
No, but he's not there to audition. He's there because he needs an extension on his taxes.
You're right. But then they tell him it's a singing competition.
Yeah, he's like, what's going on here? Oh my God, right away.
And what does he do?
He jumps up on a piano and he starts singing Oh Danny Boy, which is, okay, so I saw like commercials for this as a kid, like when it was being shown on television or like the movie channels or whatever. And this is always the part. Him singing Danny Boy is in every single one. And it's a showstopper. It's just like you're watching this and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? This is incredible.
I wrote down fuck yes as it was happening.
Oh my God. They can't hire him fast enough. He is hired immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Ron's dad's giving him a hard time. He doesn't like it. So Ron quits. Ron's like, fuck this. And as the auditions end, we get a quick performance from James. James enters. James is wearing gold lame short shorts, twirling flaming batons. And his exact quote is, I'm James and flame is my game. And if that is not a wink to the audience, I don't know what is.
Oh, yeah. There's several winks to the audience, but that one for sure is like
James.
Right on the nose. He does some wonderful flipping of fire.
Yeah, then his baton set off the fire alarm and the sprinklers start rolling and we're fucking out. We're into a different scene.
Beautiful.
They're winking so hard right now.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Super hard.
Next time we see them, they're walking to rehearsal. Ron is wearing a half shirt, so he's all in at this point.
Yeah, we go from like really stuck up Midwestern sensibility Ron to a man wearing a half shirt and short shorts.
He comes back though. He's struggling. You can tell he's working through some stuff because later on he goes back to the whole like this is too much,
Yeah.
They're going to this rehearsal and I was unclear on if the rehearsal is it taking place in a men's locker room or do they need to travel through a men's locker room to get to the rehearsal? Either way.
We just get to the most well-known song by the Village People of all time.
Yeah, you got to play the hits at some point. And sure enough, we get YMCA and they're in a men's gymnasium. I guess they're at a YMCA. They're in a gym. They're in a locker room. We get tons of dudes, muscular, shredded dudes doing gymnastics, swimming, diving, wrestling. They're just hanging dong in the shower.
There's a ton of dong through this whole thing. Yeah.
Ron dunks a basketball.
It was a very long, or it felt very long. I wasn't uncomfortable with it, but I was like, this definitely seems like an homage to the community who are this movie's meant for, right?
Well, I was going to say at this point, this was the scene where I was like, I can now see where, like, we talked about them winking to the audience a minute ago. They're not winking anymore. They're just like, this is what's up. And I can totally see why this movie would have bombed, because I would have to imagine large stretches of North America would just have not been okay with this. This would have been the moment where people were like walking out of the theaters. Like, they would have been like, we even talked about like whether people would like, I don't know how much was known about the Village People before this movie, but I can only imagine that a lot of people watch this movie and were like, I'm throwing out my Village People albums. This is like whatever. Like, you know what I mean? This is where they're just like saying like, this is what's up. This is what's
I like
happening.
that they drew that line in the sand. Like, I think good on them.
They're not hiding anything.
No,
in
I
this.
think good on them for doing that. But I do agree that this probably made it difficult for people who were not open, right, to watch the movie.
Which
and
in
enjoy the message.
1980, there must have been a time, man.
most,
Fucking
yeah.
40 years ago,
You're right.
like it was not the same world it is now. And even now, there's a lot that still needs to be done. So I can't even imagine. We also get some parts where there's like, we get visual effects where we're no longer in a place. There's just like a black screen and dudes are like flipping and there's like reflections of them and like fluorescent. It's I don't know, man. It's like they put a lot into this scene, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
So we see them next in the studio. They are recording some songs, I guess, for their sort of demo. And they're also dancing for some reason, even though it's a recording studio and there's no cameras.
I think they're trying to impress the producer or the president of the company who is going to decide whether they get a record deal or not. So they think that they have to do a performance while they sing in the studio.
Maybe just try and nail the vocals, guys. I don't know.
That would have been a much better choice because it does not go so well for them.
No. And unfortunately, before this happens, Steve Guttenberg, he tells the record executive, Sam's ex, that this is going to be the sound of the 80s, which is not true. Sadly, incorrect. They guessed wrong. We get Liberation is the next musical number. And like you said, they kind of can't get it together on the dance moves. There are some problems. It does not go so well. And so Sam's ex is going to pass. He's not going to sign them.
He offers her like basically cab fare to sign a record.
Well,
with them.
his quote is, they have very little to offer to a very small audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, he says that she's been hanging out in the Village too long, which has got to be, again, a reference, like you said, to different people live in different places.
Yeah.
So that's kind of out. That is not going to work. There's a new plan that they have decided. They've hashed this out over a pitcher of sangria.
So we catch Ron and
Gutenberg, and they're shit-faced.
They're so drunk.
And
And they've figured out the solution. Because this record deal is not happening, we had our 30 seconds of adversity in this movie.
this is the adversity. They're going to throw a showcase party, but to get money for this party they're going to throw, Sam decides she's going to do the dairy ad, and that means it's time to do the shake.
Oh my God. You'd been hyping me for this, I think, before the movie even started.
Oh my God, dude.
You were like, Milkshake is the one song or the thing that we're really going to love in this.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I wrote sick video down
This is
on my
incredible.
notes. Like,
So this
yeah.
commercial, it starts with her. She's feeding milk to, like you said earlier, children versions of the Village People. A kid runs in wearing a cop outfit. A kid runs in wearing a construction outfit. A kid runs in wearing the indigenous Native American headgear
Yes.
and stuff. These are children. But when she feeds them milk, they turn into men, and we get the milkshake. And honestly, words cannot express how incredible this sequence is.
There is so much hip thrusting that it is unbelievable. I'm pretty sure that full nations were impregnated through the watching of this video.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're all white costumes. There's balloons everywhere. These giant light up milkshake props. Dude, good luck getting this song out of your head or not thinking of it anytime you drink a milkshake for the rest of your life.
Which is so traumatizing because I love milkshakes, man.
Dude, I'm sorry. You feel traumatized? I love this song. I am all in on this. I'm like, this is great.
It was entertaining, actually. I do enjoy it. I won't be sad when I hear it when I drink my next milkshake.
Definitely. Even Lulu, the next day when they're watching it, says,
That is the most glamorous and sexy commercial I have ever seen.
and then someone else says, if this doesn't sell milk, nothing will. Oh my God, I would drink so much milk if this is the commercial.
I'm pretty sure I'm lactose intolerant and I would drink milk if I saw this commercial.
So they think this is the goddamn smash. Grand Slam, but maybe not though. There's some thought this is maybe going to be too controversial for the typical American family. So now we're getting a little backstory here of where the world was at this time.
Oh yeah, and then we get Ron angry.
It's also too controversial for Ron, as it turns out. So despite the half shirt from earlier, he's still got a little way to go. He's a little bit tight still. They need the money, though, for the party. Luckily, Ron's mom throws all kinds of fundraisers. And so, in fact, she has one coming up in San Francisco. So that's fortunate.
Yeah, Miss White. I didn't know Ron's last name.
Ron White?
Ron White is his name, apparently. And it plays off based on his sort of ideas about the world as we're getting into this movie.
So as he continues to struggle with what he is and is not okay with, Sam tells her ex, Steve, that, this fundraiser is going down. And she offers him a weekend in San Francisco. Ron is not happy about, her kind of making a date with him, and he confronts her, and they end up breaking up here.
Yeah, this is the end of the flicking for sure.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, goodness. The salad bar is closed, and we move on to that. This is going to be an edit. We're going to have to edit this.
Woo, where do they show up? They get to the private jet.
Get to the thing. The next time we see... All right. We see Steve, Sam's ex, on his plane, and he is ready for Sam to show up. He's got his sex clothes on. His sex clothes appear to be some sort of like a onesie or a muumuu or some sort of like Snuggie prototype. What the fuck is this outfit?
It's this horrible striped one-piece outfit. It has
an enormous zipper like in the front. I don't understand.
A poncho-like hood. Like it's this really crazy outfit that shows that he's ready to bone down on his plane.
I can't imagine anyone, male, female, or otherwise, seeing somebody wearing this outfit and being like, I'm going to have sex with that person. There's no way. What is this?
I would get a reverse erection immediately when that happened.
It's an atrocious outfit. I don't understand what he thought was going to happen here. Luckily for everyone, instead of Sam showing up, Jack shows up with his mom, which is a little bit awkward considering the sex layout he's got going here. Turns out Jack's mom is a shark.
Yeah, this is sweet. She just starts throwing down a deal. We get some like pretty classic Jewish racism here.
Do you think so?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. She brings out a whole bunch of like Jewish meals and then immediately convinces him for a perfect deal. So
she starts mothering him real hard and he just falls right in line. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I sit with it. I think weirdly, this might be one of the more problematic movies we've ever watched.
Oh, sorry. I think meant this scene. I was like,
no.
the scenes.
I mean, the movie itself is one of the most
goddamn
challenging
minefield
for us
for sure.
to talk
and
about.
You know what? Hey, that's fine. So the next time we see everybody, they're at this party, and we get a performance by the Ritchie family, who was like another disco act of the time. The Ritchie family, they are the openers for tonight's show. And we get a little peek at the backstage area. Costumes arrive for the main event. There is some nerves going on. I'm really nervous. In fact, the biker, we see him telling himself in a mirror, Leatherman, don't get nervous, which made me laugh a lot. I don't know why.
He's called the Leatherman in the sort of end credits as well, which is hilarious. Yeah, he is
That's
Leatherman.
His thing. Jack shows up with their brand new signed record contracts. His mom's a fucking hell of a negotiator. There's also press there. There's publicity agents. And one reporter just goes off to fucking bang Sam's ex.
Yeah, that was really weird. Like, she talks to him, or actually she has no time of day for him. And then another guy says, well, maybe you should go back and talk to the president of that record label. And she goes over there and immediately agrees to go fuck him in a closet.
That's basically what happens.
Yeah, I was so weird. I was so blown away. And you sort of pointed out to me, well, it is the 80s. I think that
late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
It was a time of kind of sexual promiscuity. People were just sort of up for whatever. This whole thing, before they've even gone on stage, is already clearly a great success. In fact, Ron is back in at the law firm. You know,
he's a partner now.
His dad, a junior partner.
Okay.
His dad, who he calls fucking Mr. Whatever. Mr. White?
Yeah,
I
Mr.
thought
White.
It's a different name. Maybe it
don't know.
wasn't his dad.
So
Now I'm
maybe it's
questioning
not
everything.
his dad. I don't think it is. I
don't
think there's
fucking
just a
know.
weird relationship to his mom and this guy. Clearly,
Oh,
they're
stepdad maybe.
yeah.
Stepdad's name.
It's
Maybe his
possible.
dad's dead.
Well-
We're just making up shit at this point. We're making up backstory.
Well, what we're not making up is that everybody is winning. They had 30 seconds of adversity, and now like everything is golden for everyone in
Yeah.
this fucking movie.
Oh my god! Apparently, him and Sam are getting married.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was a
of
very
nowhere?
quick proposal, and she said yes.
It's
Yeah.
really happening.
Oh, yeah.
So, haven't they known each other at this point for like 6 days? How many? Maybe like 3. How long has it been since they met? It has not been that long.
I don't know. It is hilarious that that it happens so quickly. That this Midwestern lawyer from nowhere sort of meets her, and they get together.
We've seen movies before where it's the whirlwind courtship. Let's just say,
Yeah.
yeah,
Fair.
I'm sure we'll see it again too. This is the big moment, though. This is the big performance at the end of the movie. We get each member of the group unveiled, and they perform "Can't Stop." The music, it's the title track. Everyone is just drenched in glitter, sequins all over the place. When the lights hit them, they are literally glowing.
It's herpes everywhere. Craft herpes hits the screen like it's nobody's business. It is literally glitter falling on all of them and
it
the
is a
crowds.
goddamn monsoon of glitter.
Yeah.
And then, you know what this is? This is not the end of a movie. This is the end of a Broadway show. We talked about this. They bring out all the other characters on stage. Every character from the movie is on stage. They're dancing. They don't take a bow, but they fucking might as well. That's what this is. This is a Broadway ending. And again, just more glitter, more glitter, more glitter.
I think it actually ends in a glitter wipe.
We get a glitter wipe.
Yeah.
It's incredible. The glitter wipes away the scene and we get credits. And by the way, there's also glitter all through the credits.
Perfect.
This movie, it just is like, it's just out there, man. It put it all out there for the world to see. And unfortunately, in 1980, a large portion of the world said, no, thank you. Yeah. In terms of ratings, we're going to talk about how good it is on a scale, or sorry, how good it is. Listen to me. What podcast is this?
Yeah, what are you talking
Good
about?
movies and beer?
Good
No.
movies and beer.
We're going to talk about how bad it is on a scale of 1 to 10. Then we'll talk about how enjoyable it is on a scale of 1 to 10. The ultimate goal, of course, being to find the movie that is 10 out of 10 bad and 10 out of 10 enjoyable, or as we know it, the Crit 20. Yes.
I had to get on that one.
Yes, I love it. Let's do it. So I will go first. In terms of how bad this movie is on a scale of 1 to 10, we're talking about this. It's not good. It's not good. A lot of the actors in this aren't really actors.
Yes.
Or they're trying to act for the first time. The plot at times, like we said, it wasn't really moving at certain points. This movie's 2 hours long. It does not need to be this long.
Oh, absolutely not.
You can trim this down to a nice clean 90, maybe 100 minutes.
There was so much unnecessary meandering in this film and so much time getting to the actual sort of plot or interesting parts that I think you could have cut an hour out and then added a couple short padding scenes and I would have been much happier.
For all of these reasons, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for bad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Higher than you thought or lower than you thought?
Yeah, higher than I thought.
Oh, I'm
for
sorry.
Sure. I didn't think you were going to go quite that hard.
Yeah,
for
man.
bad.
I went, it's pretty bad.
It's not a good movie. It was really slow, really some weird problematic stuff, some funny stuff, hopefully intentionally so. I was debating between a 7 or 8 and I decided on the 8 for bad. So 8 for me.
Okay, so how enjoyable though on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, this one was hard. We had some really good laughs and some of the music I enjoyed. Gutenberg's performance was inspirational as always. Like that guy is charismatic.
Inspirational as always. Boy, that is you're welcome, Steve.
Yeah, what
that's
happened
a great,
to Steve?
That's a great quote.
Steve, be in touch. We're
I
going to
don't
produce
know,
your next
man.
movie.
I love
Yeah.
the Goot. Bring that guy back.
I agree, but it didn't live up to what I was hoping for songs and singing. I was really hoping for something closer to other musicals of the time, and the problematic parts hurt me. I think I'm going to give it a 7 for enjoyable.
I thought that was going to happen. I thought you were going to come in like low on the enjoyable scale. And I kind of understand in a way because it is long. It's a long movie.
I think that first hour for me takes away probably two
the
enjoyability
second half
parts.
is so much better than
Yeah,
the first
if it was
half.
just the
Yeah.
second half, I think it would be much more entertaining.
If they had spent a little more time getting to the music and not as much setup,
Yeah.
I would have. And you know what? I kind of think some of these characters don't even need to be in here.
Yeah, I agree.
Having said that, it's a 9 for me.
Enjoyable 9.
I enjoyed the hell out of
Wow.
this, man. The songs were great.
Holy
I
shit.
legitimately enjoyed more than half the songs for sure. Magic Night, Milkshake. I was fucking just loving it. Dude, I was, honestly. Like, the performances are great.
The performances are great? You mean the singing, not the acting?
Yes. I mean the sing performances. The musical performances were great.
Okay.
The rest of the stuff, like, again, I know some of it's kind of cheesy and some of it's kind of whatever, but I liked it. And like, I don't know, man, like the general tone of this, I found it very enjoyable. Like, I would definitely watch this again. Would you? That's a no. That's a no. You're saying no.
It depends with whom. I feel like this would be a fun movie to watch with certain people because I think that their perspectives would make me appreciate it more, and we'd do some good laughing and maybe crying together at it. But
What?
But I wouldn't watch it independently. Absolutely not.
Nah, man. It's a 9 for me. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Beers. How about those?
I don't know if I've ever had a milkshake IPA before. I liked it. It was not bad.
You liked it? Yeah.
Is it supposed to taste different or something? Is there some kind of thing that makes me identify that it is a milkshake IPA?
So they put lactose in it, which is milk sugars. And they use milk sugars to add to the sweetness of it. So instead of it just being sweetness from the grains that they boil, they also add sort of a lactose to it. And that tends to make them sweeter and creamier almost in their flavor.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty smooth.
It will add to smoothness. I actually am not a huge fan of milkshake IPAs as a like genre of IPAs.
Yeah.
I find them too sweet. But I found this one to be very palatable. I enjoyed it as I drank through. I don't know how much that has to do with beer number whatever of the day, but but I would definitely recommend trying the Lost Craft Eclipse or checking out some of the other beers from Lost Craft out of Toronto.
Revive Ale is the name of the Kolsch. I'm 90% sure that one's great. So that will about do it, I think. Next week, we are going to be watching Tales from the Crypt Demon Night.
Oh, Billy Zane?
Oh, that's my boy. I love Billy Zane so much. Listen to me. Get ready for me to just fucking be drooling over Billy Zane for the whole entirety of this podcast. I love that man. He should be a goddamn superstar. It is a travesty that he isn't. Get excited. Tales from the Crypt next week.
Beautiful. And where can people find us if they want to comment or send us some suggestions?
Yes, we are on Twitter and Instagram at the BMB Podcast. Please, if you haven't already, like and follow and subscribe our social media, our podcast.
Sweet. If you want to send us any sort of suggestions, both for beer and or movies, or any comments, please feel free to share about how you think we address the issues in this movie, or about any of the other movies at thebmbpodcast@gmail.com.
And I hope that everyone listening had fun this week. And, we thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Cooper.
And I'm Nolan.
And we'll see you next time on Bad Movies and Beer.
Keep it sparkly.
The movie musical event of the 80s.